Hey everyone! So this week is discussion week, and all of us are allowed to pick our own topics. And I'm going to go ahead and state right now that if you're not a blogger or you have no plans to ever become a blogger, this topic probably won't interest you at all. So sorry about that. But I have been asked recently how I manage working full time, going to school part time, and blogging. And so I am here to share some of my tips on how to manage having a life as well as having a blog. So, first up, I just want to say that for me, I love blogging. I want to go into some type of career where it will come in handy, but it is still just a hobby for me. My schoolwork and my work are way more important than my blog at this point in time. Um, don't get me wrong, I put a lot of thought and time into my blog, but I always have to put my real life ahead of my blog, and just the way it has to be. So, my first tip would be to always set aside a time period when you can work on your blog. Just have it scheduled. Personally, I work on Saturdays because my homework is usually due on Sundays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And so Saturday works perfect for me. And so I set aside a couple hours every Saturday to schedule ahead a week, sometimes a week and a half if I can manage it. It usually takes me a whole weekend if I want to schedule a month in advance. So I don't really do that anymore, but I do spend about 2 hours every Saturday just working on blog posts, whether it be writing reviews or actually just scheduling stuff that's already written. And I found that that really helps me get posts up on the blog as often as I like. I blog daily. Like, I have this compulsion where I cannot have the blog not have something for a day, and it's just this weird thing in my head. I just can't do it. But that's not for everybody. It's certainly okay if you post like 3 days a week or 5 days a week, not 7. It's okay. However works best for you. Also, my second tip is don't be afraid to take a break from your blog. If, say, you're in high school and you have ACTs, SATs, all that important stuff coming up, focus on that. So take a month, take 2 months away from your blog. It's okay. People will still be there when you get back. I promise you. I always was terrified of taking breaks, but I did it and I came back so refreshed, and my readers are still there. So it's really worth it in the end because you won't be so burnt out. You will enjoy blogging again, and you won't have to worry about school so much. Also, um, reading is fun. That's why I blog. Reading can become not fun if you overdo it. A lot of schools obviously require reading, so you're probably reading some boring books. I hate to say it. So, if you want to manage blog reading and school reading, you need to have the blog reading be for your enjoyment. Don't put yourself on this schedule where it's only review books all the time. That's not going to work because you're going to get burnt out and you're going to want to just quit reading altogether. It's happened to me. You have to read what you want to read because a lot of the times you're not reading what you want to read for other things. So don't lose your joy of reading because you're forcing yourself to read books that you don't want to read. It's not worth it in the end. And also, another good tip is ask other bloggers to maybe guest post for you. I don't do it very often, but if I know I'm going to be really busy and I know I can't get posts scheduled that far in advance and I want posts to be there, ask other bloggers, like your friends. I have a ton of bloggers I know if I went to and they had the time, they would totally guest post for me. And so that's always an option. You don't have to be the only one posting on your blog. And like I've seen around a lot, people are starting co-blogging. And if you think that would work for you, do it. It won't work for me. I like to be in control too much, but if you think that you'd like to split your blog between another person or another 2 people, go for it. Then you can get all the posts up you want and you don't need to worry about it all on your own. And last but not least, this one is for commenting. Around school time every year, comments just kind of go poof. Nobody comments anymore, and it's really depressing for everybody involved. So what I would recommend is to set aside like an hour a week, maybe on top of your blogging time, so like on Saturdays for me, and visit some of your favorite blogs and leave comments. This not only shows that you still read their blogs, but it will increase traffic to your blog while you're not there because a lot of people return comments. So that really helps, in my opinion. So if you're a blogger and you're overwhelmed by school, take my advice, please. It's really helped me in the past, and I hate seeing so many awesome bloggers get burnt out with all the stuff going on in their lives. So, like, don't be afraid to take a break. It's okay. Blogging is a hobby for like all of us. So, you gotta put your real life first. So that's my discussion post for this week. What do you guys do if you start to get burnt out on blogging or you're overwhelmed? I would love some of your tips because while my tips do work well for me, I still become a little overwhelmed every now and then. So I could always use some new tips. Okay, like I promised, I will see you next week. Bye, guys.